a pile of bricks where once there was a home. These tile stoves are all that's left of wooden houses that took just minutes to disappear in the flames. Ivan's was one of them.
It was the Thursday before Easter. All of a sudden we saw smoke rising in the sky over there. All the men drove over to the neighbouring village to help. But once we got there was nothing left to put out. When we tried to get home, our route was blocked by flames. The flames jumped from treetop to treetop, 10 metres above our heads. Somehow I managed to get my wife out. Everything around us was on fire.
Thousands of hectares of forests have been destroyed, and Chernobyl, the site of the world's worst nuclear accident, is less than 100 kilometers from these villages. Many had feared that the fires would see radiation levels jump. While there's no evidence of a dangerous rise in radiation, it's not just these isolated villages that are feeling the pain. In the capital Kiev, millions were left struggling to breathe as smoke and dust from the fires covered the city, making Ukraine's capital the world's most polluted city for days at a time. Back in the village, the flames came so quickly that Ivan had to leave everything behind, including his animals.
The barn was over there. When we left, we released the goats and the chickens, but they got scared and ran back into the barn. We had 10 kid goats and 4 nanny goats. That's how it goes.
We just can't get this fire out, however much water we throw at it.
Even within sight of the village, the fires are still smouldering, weeks after the main fire was put out. The light, dry peat soils allow the fires to spread underground along the trees' roots. Putting these fires out is getting harder and harder.
We have to drive further each time to get water. All the ponds around here are dry. We didn't have a real winter, and now we don't have any water. Only the rain can save us now. We're begging God to send us rain. That would be salvation for us and the whole country.
What exactly caused these fires is still a matter of contention. Was it arson or just a carelessly discarded cigarette? Perhaps farmers burning waste. But none of these things are new. What has changed is the climate.
This should all now be underwater. And as you can see, it's all just dried out.
Volodymyr Zakharchuk has been looking after forests in this region for years. He's seen them get drier and drier.
We've never seen fires like this in Ukraine. They're on a totally different scale. In the past 5 years, we've seen temperatures rising even faster than before. Previously, we'd seen summer temperatures no higher than 25 to 28 degrees. But in the past few years, we've had up to 38, sometimes even 40 degrees. It's really painful to see it like this. It's a catastrophe. Before, we had only seen fires like this on TV in Australia or California.
Svetlana's home once stood in this forest clearing. She and her 2 sons only just made it out in time.
The boys had just started eating lunch when we heard a strange whistling sound. At first we thought it might be a train in the distance. That sound was the wind, the trees, and the flames all together. We couldn't see it, only hear it. Suddenly, it was here. We managed to get out at the last moment. We walked 8 kilometers down that way to the main road. We would not have made it to the nearest village. When we got to the road, it had melted. It was that hot.
Everything Svetlana has left is now in this mobile home. A gift from people she's never met, who read about her situation online. It's a story you hear time and time again in these villages. From food to clothing and even building materials, the villagers can barely keep track of the donations flooding in from across the country.
Everyone is helping us out right now. From Muslim Tartars to the Russian and the Ukrainian churches. They're all supporting us. A disaster like this reveals who people really are. We had people here in the village who made a big deal out of being patriots, but they were the first to hide. There were others with bad reputations who actually were the first to run into the flames to put this fire out. No one wants to leave. We're all just praying for rain. Only rain can put an end to these fires. The fire brigade won't manage alone. Look, over there. The smoke is rising again.